Welcome from Brussels at Utopia Studios. This is Sonia Romano, broadcasting from the Water Post EU. We're delighted to host today Dr. Antonios Nestoras, the founding director of EPIC. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time today. This takes place one day after the Renew event at the European Parliament on the Draghi report. So let's dive in with the first question. You've just launched the Draghi Observatory, a new tool to track the implementation of the Draghi report. What makes it unique and what have you seen so far?
It makes it unique because it's the only tool that we have available at the moment to monitor and track the progress of the implementation of the Draghi report. Because the Draghi report, there's a lot of people who like it, there's a lot of people who don't. But the reality is that it was commissioned by the EU. It was endorsed on the higher level by the European Commission. And so people have expectations. As far as I'm concerned, this is a pledge. It is a promise. And we want to have a very good understanding on the level and the degree of the implementation. Now, the report itself is like 400 pages long. And it contains hundreds and hundreds of policy measures. So how can we really know at any given stage what measures have been implemented and or not? And this is a tool that creates transparency, clarity, and at the same time, it is sort of an accountability mechanism for the EU institutions. If people have expectations, they are waiting for those promises and pledges to be implemented, they now have a way of knowing which measures have been implemented and which not.
Okay, thank you very much. And looking ahead, how much of the Draghi agenda can realistically be delivered before the 2029 elections?
Look, I'm not ignorant of the fact that the EU legislative process is complicated. There are many different levels of governance. You know, we have the member states, we have the European Parliament, the Council, the Commission, the national parliaments to some extent. There is a lot of resistance, there's a lot of institutional resistance and political resistance. But the EU has proven that if they want to implement something, they can do it. And I believe that it's absolutely feasible, okay, if not the 100%, because we have to take into consideration the democratic process, right. But there's definitely the vast majority of the report can be implemented in the next years.
Okay. And if you had to pick just two priority areas from the report to unlock Europe's competitiveness, which would they be and why?
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt about this, and I think that it's a very wide consensus that energy is the number one priority, because it's the foundational sector. Why it is foundational? Because if we have competitive energy prices, then the rest of the sectors can also have competitive prices in their products. And by extent, the measures following the energy-intensive industries that provide critical raw materials are also extremely important. The whole world is changing very fast. We are moving into an international political economy which is very material intensive. So critical raw materials and aluminium, steel, that takes a lot of energy to create and manufacture, are far more important than they were in the past few decades. And therefore, energy-intensive industries and critical raw materials, I would single out as the sectors with the most importance because they are foundational. They create the conditions for anyone else to thrive.
And as you might know, Europe often creates rules to protect citizens, but some say they end up suffocating innovation. Mm-hmm. How can policymakers strike the right balance between protection and progress?
Balance, yeah, that's the key here. Balance is good in life in general, and I think that the Draghi report is doing exactly that, is bringing back some balance into the debate and the tension, or how we approach the tension between sustainability and competitiveness and growth. Now, striking that balance in legislative terms is more difficult, but listen, because of all this legislation, and it's been too much, definitely, in the past years. We have created the most socially responsible and environmentally conscious industry or value chain in the planet, in the world right now. It's European industry is resilient, socially responsible, environmentally conscious. There is some point where we have to say, okay, we have that. This is an accomplishment. How do we support them to become more competitive? How do we support them to make more exports and so on and so forth? I can give you specific examples. We didn't like fossil fuels. The industry had to adapt. They adapted. We now have synthetic fuels. We now have bio fuels. We didn't want the internal combustion engine for environmental reasons. The industry adapted. We now have all sorts of electric vehicles. It's the same with energy-intensive industries like aluminium and steel. We even have green steel now and environmentally sensible aluminium production, recycling, and so forth. I mean, even in industries that were singled out as the bad boys, harmful industries like tobacco, we didn't like the cigarettes. We now have smoke-free products. And instead of congratulating the industry for innovating, we continue suppressing this innovation with more taxes, with more regulations, and so on and so forth. So my recommendation would be to congratulate ourselves for creating this kind of, as I said again, and I repeat, socially responsible, environmentally conscious value chain on almost all industrial sectors, and support them instead of further stifling innovation and growth and research and development.
Thank you very much. In sector where Europe once led, other regions are now moving faster by embracing innovation. Mm-hmm. What lessons should Europe take from those who support new products instead of restricting them?
That it's very, very simple. If we keep on suppressing innovation, it's not like we're going to do the world any favors or the planet any favors. We are still going to import all those products from other countries. Mm. We are suppressing our natural gas production and we buy it from the United States, until recently from Russia. We are suppressing our critical raw materials production and sourcing, which could be environmentally responsible. And we are buying all those critical materials from China. And you can think of any other kind of product from, automobiles to, again, nicotine products and smoke-free alternatives to that. So it's not like people are going to stop buying, importing, using all these products. It's just that we're going to buy it from elsewhere, and this is bad for the European industry, economy, society, and so on.
Okay, thank you very much. We are at the final question. If you could leave one message with the EU policymakers today, what would it be?
That they have created a lot of expectations, and that people are expecting to see results. It's for the first time in history, in recent history at least, that the European integration project is not some sort of a detached, bureaucratic, technocratic process. It's something that every single citizen feels that is affecting everyday life, and also because of the existential threats that we are witnessing from all sides now, from the US to China, from the Middle East to Africa, the people are expecting to see results. And I believe that in the end, the Draghi report, or if not the report, how much effective we are in increasing competitiveness, reigniting the economy and growth on the continent. This is going to be the benchmark upon which the work of this Commission will be judged in the end.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, Dr. Nestoras. That, who we remind, is the founding director of EPIC. Thank you everyone else for watching from home. This is Sonia Romano from the Water Post EU, and see you next time.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
inviting me.